past the world number one. She wouldn't allow it. And it's the perfect start to the season for this supremely talented player.
Yeah, another incredibly impressive week from Aryna Sabalenka. Really, from start to finish, hasn't dropped a set. And that final performance there, again, she just showed why she's the world number one, didn't she? She just had a little bit too much firepower for Kostyuk. But lots of positives to take for the Ukrainian. Had a fantastic week. Really.
Aryna Sabalenka just won the Brisbane final.
Listen to this. Aryna Sabalenka just clinched the Brisbane final. But hold up, she didn't exactly look like she was ready to party. Girl, the moment at the net got awkward fast. Kostyuk flat out refused to shake her hand. Sabalenka tried to stay composed, but the tension, you could literally slice it with a knife. And let me tell you, this drama isn't new, and it sure as hell won't be the last time we see it. So, what do you think? Should players be forced to shake hands no matter what, or should they get to set their own boundaries? Drop your take in the comments.
Lord Mayor, now unfortunately in a final there can only be one winner, so please put your hands together for our finalists today. Kostyuk, well done Marta on making it through to the final.
All right, hold up. Let's break down what went down in Brisbane, because trust me, this isn't just about a handshake snub. Aryna Sabalenka crushed the WTA 500 Brisbane final against Kostyuk, walking off with another shiny trophy for her collection. You'd think that's the headline, right? World number one does her thing, racks up another win, all smooth sailing. But girl, nope. The real chaos went down after the final point, when Kostyuk once again straight up refused to shake Sabalenka's hand at the net.
I want to say a few words about Ukraine. I play every day with a pain in my heart, and there is thousands of people who are without light and warm water right now. It's minus 20 degrees outside, so it's very, very painful to live this reality every day. And you know, it's very hot here in Brisbane, so it's difficult to imagine this, you know, but my sister is sleeping under 3 blankets because of how cold it is at home, so I was incredibly moved and happy to see so many Ukrainian fans and flags this week too.
Now, before anyone comes in with the whole "is just good sportsmanship" lecture, let's get to why Kostyuk keeps pulling this move. It's not like she woke up that morning and thought, let me be petty. This stance goes all the way back to 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine. And yeah, Sabalenka's Belarusian, not Russian. But girl, Belarus has been Russia's biggest ride or die in this whole mess. So for Kostyuk and other Ukrainian players, shaking hands with Russian or Belarusian athletes feels like pretending everything's normal when it absolutely isn't. Here's the kicker. Sabalenka has been pretty clear she doesn't support the war. She said multiple times that no Russian or Belarusian athlete actually supports what's happening. Back at Roland Garros 2023, she straight up said that if they could stop the war, they would, but it's not in their hands. And honestly, fair. She's not out here making political moves for Belarus. She's just out here trying to play tennis and apparently catching heat for her birthplace.
I mean, it's their position. What can I do? And I don't mind that. I don't care about that. And when I go into the match, it's all about tennis and sport. And when I go out there, I think about my tennis and things that I have to do to get the win. It doesn't matter if it's Marta Kostyuk or Jessica Pegula there. I still go out there and I still try my best and I'll fight for the trophy. I have nothing to prove, and I go there and I just compete as an athlete.
But girl, here's where it gets really messy. Sabalenka's words might sound good on paper, but actions tell the real story. And for Ukrainian players living through literal hell, those words probably land hollow. Kostyuk isn't just flexing for the cameras. Her sister is out here sleeping under 3 blankets because there's no heat in her home. Thousands of Ukrainians are dealing with minus 20 degrees temperatures with no electricity or hot water. People are dying. So yeah, refusing a handshake might look dramatic to folks chilling in their cozy homes, but for Kostyuk, this is her way of making sure the world doesn't forget what's happening while we're all glued to tennis matches. The Brisbane tournament organizers clearly saw this coming. They didn't schedule a joint photo of the finalists with their trophies. They weren't about to force Kostyuk and Sabalenka to stand there smiling for the cameras. Smart move, honestly. Can you imagine how awkward that would have been? The setup tried to minimize the tension, but let's be real. You can't sidestep a situation this massive.
No, it's tennis, it's sport, and that's why it's so beautiful, because you cannot predict anything. It's like every day you go out there and you prove your level, you prove your point, and I think this week I did it really well, but nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. But the only one thing I'm sure is that I'll be there, I'll be fighting, I'll do my best to go as far as possible, and do a little bit better than I did last year. And that's where is my focus. My focus is on my game, on developing myself and making sure that I'm strong and healthy heading to the AO.
After Kostyuk grabbed her runner-up trophy, she used her speech to hit everyone with the reality of Ukraine. She spoke about playing every single day with a heavy heart, about people freezing without even the basics, about her sister wrapped in blankets just to survive the cold. She gave a shout-out to fans bringing Ukrainian flags to the tournament. It was raw, it was emotional, and yeah, it completely overshadowed the typical shout-out to my team and sponsor speech you usually hear. Then Sabalenka stepped up for her winner's speech, and you could tell she was walking on eggshells. She congratulated Kostyuk and her crew, wished them well, hoped they'd clash in more finals. It was classy, it was professional, and honestly, what else could she say? She can't stop the war, she can't change where she's from, and she's already made it clear she doesn't support what's happening. But let's be real, those words probably felt hollow right then, standing there with a trophy, while Kostyuk was out here talking about her sister freezing at home.
Celebration from Sabalenka. She kissed her biceps while looking at her team, and I thought for sure that was a reference to Marta Kostyuk's comments when she blamed her winless streak against Aryna and Iga on them potentially having more testosterone. Aryna was asked about this in her post-match press conference, and she denied it being sort of a dig at her opponent.
The celebration at the end, can you just tell me, the kissing of the biceps, was there anything in particular behind that, or?
No, I think because during the game I made a lot of aggressive, heavy winners. I want to see the speed, so I was just making fun with my team.
So nothing in response to any discussions of...
No.
Now let's get real for a second. This isn't Sabalenka's first time getting denied a handshake, and trust me, she won't be the last Russian or Belarusian player dealing with this. Lisa Torino refused to shake her hand at the 2024 Australian Open. Aryna does it too, out of respect for Ukrainian soldiers and to keep the conversation about the war alive. This isn't a one-off, it's a pattern, and it's here to stay. The title of this script mentions Coco Gauff for a reason. Remember when Gauff had to deal with American crowds booing at matches? She handled it with grace, addressed it head-on, and basically shut down the negativity without making it about herself. She navigated a messy situation while staying composed and keeping people from feeling worse. That's the comparison here. Sabalenka is trying to do the same thing, professional and gracious, despite being put in an insanely awkward spot repeatedly. But unlike Gauff, which was just crowd behavior, this is a literal war, which makes it a million times messier. Some people think Kostyuk is being unfair to Sabalenka. After all, what is she supposed to do? Renounce her citizenship? Stop playing tennis? Trash her country publicly and risk her family's safety? That's a lot for anyone. But on the flip side, what is Kostyuk supposed to do? Smile, shake hands, and pretend everything's normal while her country is under attack? There's no perfect move here. Some tournaments banned Russian and Belarusian players entirely, as Wimbledon did in 2022. That caused ranking losses and missed opportunities for players who didn't do anything wrong. Others let them compete as neutral athletes without their flag. That seems like a compromise, but it also sweeps the problem under the rug. Here's where it gets even trickier. Sabalenka really doesn't want to be in the middle of politics. She just wants to play tennis, but she doesn't get that choice. Her nationality is political. Every time she steps on court, wins a tournament, or does an interview, she represents Belarus, whether she likes it or not. That's the reality of being a high-profile athlete from a country at war. Back at Roland Garros 3 years ago, when Kostyuk first refused a handshake, the crowd actually booed her. Can you believe that? A woman whose country is being invaded, whose people are freezing and dying, and the crowd booed her for not shaking hands with someone allied with the aggressor? That's insane. It shows how little people understood her actions. They saw bad sportsmanship instead of a political statement and a cry for help. Thankfully, the crowd in Brisbane seemed different this time. Kostyuk mentioned seeing Ukrainian flags in the stands, and people cheered for her speech about the situation back home. Maybe the world is finally getting it, or maybe people are just used to it now. Either way, she wasn't booed for standing up for her country. The Coco Gauff comparison makes sense because both are dealing with situations way bigger than tennis. Gauff educated the crowd. Sabalenka is navigating a war while keeping her composure, probably feeling awful each time someone refuses a handshake. Neither approach is wrong, they're just different responses to impossible circumstances. Some argue that sports should stay separate from politics, that athletes should just play. That's naive. Sports have always been political, from the Olympics to World Cup qualifiers, from tournament locations to global controversies. Asking Ukrainian players to ignore their country's suffering for sportsmanship is inhuman. At the same time, asking Sabalenka to fix everything or face public shaming every time she wins isn't fair either. She's stuck. Speak too strongly, consequences at home. Say too little, accused of complicity. Try to stay neutral, both sides are unhappy. There's literally no winning move here. The handshake denial has become symbolic. It's not really about Sabalenka anymore. It's about keeping the conversation alive. Every tournament, every match, every victory reminds the world that there's a war happening. Fans want to enjoy tennis, but Kostyuk and other Ukrainian players make sure you can't fully enjoy it without remembering the bigger picture. Honestly, that's the point. Sabalenka's response has been measured. No outbursts, no complaints, no victim energy. She acknowledges the situation, shares her stance against the war, and moves on. That's serious emotional control, especially when it happens again and again. It clearly bothers her, but she's not making it worse by getting defensive. Are the organizers avoiding the joint photo? Smart, but also sad. It shows this is now normalized. Ukrainian and Russian Belarusian players can't even share a frame. Practical, yes, but depressing. Tournament organizers now plan around geopolitical conflicts during award ceremonies. That's where we are. Looking forward, this isn't going anywhere. As long as the war continues, Ukrainian players will likely keep refusing handshakes. Russian and Belarusian players will keep being put in impossible spots. The Australian Open is coming, and you can bet this scenario will repeat. Denied handshakes, awkward moments, speeches about freezing Ukrainians, political statements disguised as sportsmanship debates. It's rough for everyone. It's rough for Kostyuk, carrying her country's pain on court. Rough for Sabalenka, treated like she personally started a war. Rough for fans trying to enjoy tennis. Rough for organizers navigating impossible politics. No clear villains here, just people stuck in a terrible situation doing what they think is right. Handshakes have become political statements, and nobody's really winning. If you think there's a better way to handle this, I genuinely want to hear it, because right now, nobody's happy. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more tennis drama breakdowns.